right now on 5 on your side at 10.
Heat and humidity eases, at least a little bit. The changes happening right now that give us sunshine for the weekend ahead.
Tonight, area firefighters are battling fires and staffing shortages.
The industry is not dying. I think it just needs some fresh blood.
The local department taking a different approach to add more recruits to its ranks. Our top story, jailhouse fail. Tonight, the report card is in, calling for corrections at St. Louis's correctional facility. The Missouri State Auditor released their findings after roughly 9 months investigating the City Justice Center. Good evening. I'm Mike Bush.
And I'm Kelly Jackson. The report finds no evidence of fraud, but as 5 on your side's Laura Barczewski reports, it does highlight other problems, Laura.
Mike and Kelly, the state auditor's report says a lot of these problems come down to City Justice Center staffing, and that's something that law enforcement and correctional agencies across the country are dealing with right now. In October 2023, Missouri State Auditor Scott Fitzpatrick opened an investigation into the St. Louis City Justice Center to look into these complaints: fraud, health care, meals, staffing, and lack of access for the Detention Facilities Oversight Board.
I applaud Senator Roberts for calling for the audit.
That's Chair of the Board, Reverend Darrell Gray. He says the results are further evidence of the lack of access to investigate detainee complaints and showed the problems they've been sounding the alarm about.
We felt that, we were vindicated. It spoke very clearly about some of the medical concerns, the fact that the former contractor had major issues and problems.
The audit says the contractor, Yes Care, did not extend their agreement because CJC's staffing challenges prevented them from giving basic care, and healthcare professionals felt unsafe after incidents like being locked in housing units without custody staff being present. When it comes to food service at the jail, the audit found additional investigation is needed. Alfred Montgomery worked for the sheriff's office and saw firsthand how it affected people.
Some of them complain about not eating for days. Some of them are complaining about not being able to shower. And the average human brain, if they're under this type of stress, then you have to expect behaviors to occur.
The report's conclusion highlights staffing shortages as the root cause of many of the CJC's problems. Its policy is 10 detainees to 1 corrections officer, and they've remained in that ratio, but have had significant drops in total officers from 123 in 2022 to 74 in 2023. Sheriff Vernon Betts said in a statement, the jail conditions are appalling.
What the low staff complement means is you have over 700 detainees who are being locked in their cells for 22, 23 hours a day.
A statement from Mayor Tashard Jones' office reads, in part, as expected, the auditor's investigative summary found no indication of fraud on behalf of the city. We share the staffing concerns raised by the auditor and continue to work aggressively to hire more correctional officers. Reporting live downtown, Laura Barczewski, 5 on your side.
Isolated downpours and gusty winds are moving through parts of St. Louis, bringing an end to the excessive heat we've endured all week. Chief Meteorologist Scott Connell is tracking a much welcome cool front moving in overnight in the weather impact forecast.
Yes, and we're seeing a few of those downpours rolling through parts of the metro area. We had one develop really just west of Lambert and then tracked right along 70 and 270. Now it's all the way over into Madison County. It brought with it some gusty winds around 30, 35 miles per hour. A few more cells down to the southwest. But again, it's been quick hitting. They're not lasting very long. They haven't been severe and very limited on the amount of lightning you see with that. And as we look here at the Edwardsville camera right there in downtown Edwardsville, streets are still dry. So that shower, the rumbles of thunder, went just south of downtown Edwardsville. We still have some here south of Cedar Hill, up off to the southeast of High Ridge, going through Jefferson County. This will all wind down tonight. Any rain's going to come to an end. We will drop back into the upper 60s and low 70s. The heat and humidity, we're breaking it to some degree heading into tomorrow and into the weekend. Not cool and refreshing, but a break in the extreme heat. We'll see you in a few minutes with more. Kelly?
All right, Scott. And a sad reminder tonight of the dangers of the heat. The Arnold Police Department is mourning the loss of one of its canine officers.
As 5 on your side's Robert Townsend reports, the dog suffered heat exhaustion while in a patrol car and died.
According to a bio on the Arnold Police Department's website, 4-year-old Vader was very energetic, loved coming to work, playing fetch, and being around people. In a Facebook post, police said the Belgian Malinois died from heat exhaustion after his handler left him in a running patrol car with the air conditioning on. When Vader's handler returned, he discovered the AC malfunctioned.
The police treat these dogs like a part of their family.
Arnold police further said they consider canines left in running patrol cars as necessary and common practice when the canine partner is not actively engaged in police work. Vader was immediately taken to a local vet clinic where police say he showed signs of improvement. He then was transported to a 24-hour clinic where sadly he passed away. Dr. Stuart Robson is the founding partner and medical director at Fox Creek Veterinary Clinic in Kirkwood.
The vast majority of people, they should never leave their dog unattended in a car. The police is different. They have a duty, to protect us, and they would do anything to protect those dogs.
Arnold Police Department's canine cars are equipped with an air conditioning alarm system. It's supposed to notify the handler by phone, activate the emergency lights and siren, sound the car horn, activate cooling fans, and roll down the car windows if the temperature increases to a certain level. Police also say that system failed to activate.
I'm sure they're sickened by it.
Robert Townsend, 5 on your side.
The Humane Society of Missouri wouldn't comment on Vader's case, but in a statement said in part, it does highlight how serious extreme temperatures can be to animals.
A memorial is forming in Ferguson ahead of the 10th anniversary of the death of Michael Brown. Today, people began placing flowers and stuffed animals on Canfield Drive. That is where the 18-year-old was shot and killed by a Ferguson police officer on August 9th, 2014. Brown's death sparked months of protests. The teen's father has since formed a nonprofit to help grieving families.
We're trying to save lives. This not-for-profit was built off of fathers and families, that's processing the unthinkable.
Several events are planned ahead of next week's anniversary.
Developing tonight, we take a live look now at Joint Base Andrews, where in the next 30 minutes, 4 Americans wrongly imprisoned in Russia are expected to arrive back on U.S. soil. President Joe Biden and Vice President Kamala Harris will greet them. Their long-awaited journey home is part of an historic exchange. Wall Street Journal reporter Evan Gershkovich and Marine veteran Paul Whelan are among those released in a complex deal involving 24 people across 7 nations.
New tonight, tackling a problem head-on through intention and meeting people where they are.
The local fire department is doing just that as the industry battles a nationwide shortage. 5 on your side's Brent Solomon introduces us to a fire chief who's getting creative to lure more firefighters to the field.
When a fire emergency strikes, they're there to save lives. But O'Fallon, Illinois Fire Chief Brad White notices a problem.
There's departments now that are closing around the nation that have been there for 100 years or more. People age out that are currently with them and they can't get young people in. It's a problem here in St. Clair County for sure.
It's why he's getting creative.
To save lives.
To fight fires.
To keep our communities safe.
Investing in social media and innovative recruitment.
We have QR codes on our trucks to go to the websites. We have poker chips with QR codes telling people we're recruiting. Anything and everything we can put into the front of people or hand to them.
With a focus on matching new hires with their own interests.
We are teachers.
Business owners.
Healthcare professionals.
As soon as he asked for volunteers, my hand went up. I'm like, yep, I'll help.
Volunteer firefighter Aaron Clearly will soon help man the department's drone used for search and rescue efforts.
I worked in commercial aviation as my day job, and so I'm kind of using that skill set to help with our drone program.
It's the kind of intentional recruiting that's helped the department soar from 19 firefighters to more than 60 over the last several years. Right now, a dozen more are going through the academy.
The industry is not dying. I think it just needs some fresh blood and some fresh ideas. But somebody still has to show up when things go wrong, and that's what the fire department does every day.
Last September, we told you the Pocahontas and Old Ripley Fire District in Illinois let go of all its volunteer EMTs, and the district ran out of money to hire full-time paramedics. I've also learned the St. Louis Fire Department is short about 100 firefighters right now. I just got off the phone with the lead instructor of the Fire Academy, who tells me this week 56 fire recruits start at the academy.
It's an iconic event of the Olympics, and it almost ran its last leg here in St. Louis.
Not only was it wickedly hot, there wasn't a lot of water stops.
The marathon mayhem of the 1904 Games, where there was a fake finish and the eventual winner was given a medal and poison. The comeback GOAT, Simone Biles, making more history in Paris and inspiring the next generation of gymnasts here in St. Louis.
The first weekend of August is hot, but not as humid, when an even more dramatic change is expected to arrive next week.
Tonight, the Show Me State is showing the door to people who sell unregulated hemp products. Governor Mike Parsons signed an executive order today banning food and drinks containing Delta 8. Those items are made from hemp, not cannabis, so they don't have the same restrictions as pot. The governor says based on the packaging, the products appear to be marketed to children.
When the almighty dollar for these people that sell these products become more important than our children's lives here in the state of Missouri, should be a wake-up call for everybody.
5 on Your Side has been looking into the dangers of Delta 8 for years. Just this week, Today in St. Louis reported on how police and the cannabis industry are pushing lawmakers for regulations.
Well, as Olympic fever continues to grip Paris, we're reminded of St. Louis's own moment in the Olympic spotlight 120 years ago. Our 1904 Games featured a marathon that was, well, unforgettable. Time to go on a run through history in tonight's Practice to Podium. Today, Francis Olympic Field is a serene reminder of St. Louis's Olympic legacy.
Francis Field is the oldest modern-day Olympic stadium in the world. That's still ongoing.
But during the 1904 Games, it was the scene of the most bizarre marathon in history. In scorching August heat, 32 brave souls set out on a 24.85-mile marathon course with just one water stop. That's when the race took a strange detour. American Fred Lors, cramping up, hitched an 11-mile ride.
The car he hitched a ride with was actually an official. So it wasn't like he was cheating or anything like that. But he rode in the car and he got out and said, I think I'm okay, I'm gonna run the rest of the way in.
Feeling better, he hopped out and jogged into Francis Field to a hero's welcome before officials learned the truth. Lors claimed it was just a joke, but was initially banned for life before being reinstated. The winner was American Thomas Hicks, who struggled to the finish after his trainers refused him water, instead feeding him a mixture of strychnine, yes, the poison, and brandy. The Olympic marathon was nearly canceled after the St. Louis debacle, but the race lived on, and so does this city's Olympic legacy.
Gold medal was invented in St. Louis, so the first gold medal was handed out in St. Louis.
Over a century later, St. Louis is still running with that legacy. Only 14 of the 32 athletes who started the race finished the race in 1904.
And I think of running a marathon in the weather that we have had, Chief Meteorologist Scott Connell.
On dusty roads.
On dusty roads and without having water breaks.
And not water.
Strychnine. Why don't you have some strychnine?
And a little brandy to go along with that. Wow. All right, well, we're talking tonight finally about some more reasonable temperatures moving in here. We won't have the extreme heat and humidity we've had the last couple of days. Even today, while it wasn't as hot as what we were originally anticipating earlier this week, we still made it into the mid-90s. Yes, we had some thunderstorms go through St. Louis early in the morning. We've had a few more bubble up this afternoon, but drier and somewhat cooler in parentheses. It is August coming our way with that air moving in behind this front. Now, right ahead of the front, we still have a few scattered showers and thunderstorms. There hasn't been anything drastic with this. You got a brief downpour. In fact, the one that put this water down in North St. Louis County, stretching from the airport over to Spanish Lake, you got about 1/4 of an inch. That's all the way over to Highland right now, and it's continuing on to the east. Another little blip popped up here just north of O'Fallon over to Lebanon, Illinois. Then you go down to the southwest along 44 and down 55. We're finding a few showers, some rumbles of thunder in here too, but they don't last very long. You're not talking about a whole lot of water, and they're certainly not producing much in the way of intense thunderstorm activity. So this isn't something you need to be concerned about tonight. You can still rest easily. Maybe you hear a rumble of thunder, but just know it's going to be fine. 80 degrees where we are right now after our high of 94. Only 0.04 of an inch in the rain gauge up until this last shower. We think we're at about 1/4 of an inch or so right now. Weather headlines for you. Here they are. Isolated rain ending overnight. Less heat and humidity Friday. It's still hot, but not as bad. Hot, dry weekend ahead on the way for St. Louis. Tomorrow, temperatures are going back into the mid to upper 80s. We'll get close to 90 degrees, but not quite there for most of us. And the clouds will be a little more extensive off to the east of St. Louis as we head into tomorrow. You might even see a stray shower or thunderstorm kind of pop up during the afternoon hours. East of the Mississippi River, it's not going to be widespread, and you'll notice the difference tomorrow afternoon in the heat and humidity. Over the weekend, you probably have some outdoor plans. We're getting close to school starting again, so a lot of folks heading out this weekend. Low 90s on Saturday, mid 90s on Sunday, but unlike the last several days, these temperatures come with dew points that should be in the upper 60s to around 70. That should keep the heat index around or a little below 100 degrees. So here you go for the next 7 days. Temperatures go back up going into next week. We're close to 100 by Tuesday, but our anticipation is that we will stay below that and the heat index likely staying below 105 into next week. Pretty bright skies, though, and dry conditions over the weekend into early next week. Next chance for rain, Mike, doesn't roll in here until we get to about Thursday.
All right, Scott, thanks. Well, the GOAT is making more history in Paris. Simone Biles won her 6th Olympic gold medal today, her 9th overall.
What a sight to see. 3 years after bowing out of the competition in Tokyo, Biles reclaimed the gold in the women's all-around competition. Fellow American Sudie Lee, who won gold in 2020, took home the bronze. The success this year of both the American men and women is inspiring kids at Team Central Gymnastics Academy in Maryland Heights.
It's really fun to see my current students sort of absorb what gymnastics in the Olympics is. And so you see them translate, oh, like I'm swinging on the rings during ninja class. That one guy, he like does these crazy ring moves.
Team Central Gymnastics Academy also runs a not-for-profit to give all kids a chance in the sport.
And it's a big day tomorrow for our local Olympians. At 4 a.m. St. Louis time, diver Tyler Downs of Baldwin will compete for a medal in the 3-meter synchronized springboard final. Then at 8, Patrick Schulte of O'Fallon, Missouri, will be in goal for the U.S. men's soccer team as they take on Morocco in the quarterfinal. And East Alton native Jaden Ulrich will compete in the discus throw qualifications. A watch party is being held at the Pump House Bar and Grill in Wood River beginning at 10:30 a.m.
NBC Olympics coverage continues at 10:35 tonight with surfing and 3-on-3 basketball. Then tomorrow morning, coverage of men's beach volleyball starts at 8. And in prime time, you can watch Tyler Downs dive for a medal, and the fastest man in the pool will be crowned. Here's Frank.
And Nafisa Collier is our town's greatest female basketball player, and she's getting closer and closer to that gold medal. That story plus the compelling Cardinals-Cubs matchup. So I was about to come on TV tonight and say, folks, we have ourselves a baseball team. The Cardinals, with their roster additions, were going to win their 3rd game in a row. And then the 9th inning happened in Wrigley Field. It started off nicely, though. Paul Goldschmidt homered in the 1st inning, his 17th, and the Cardinals led it 1-0. It was 2-1 Cubs in the 7th, and this Mason win, he's probably cooler than air conditioning. This is a 2-run blast for the 22-year-old shortstop, 3-2 Cardinals. Game, set, match, right? Well, Ryan Helsley on in the 9th, and Cody Bellinger. Solo shot, make it 4-3. And then the pinch hitter, Mike Tauchman, went opposite field, and the Cubs walk it off 5-4. Oh, my God. It was media day at Norwood Hills Country Club for the Ascension Charity Classic. The tourney will be held September 6th through the 8th, and what an incredible final round last year for the champion, Steve Flesch. He started off 6 under after 6 holes and finished with a 62. Steve talked about it today.
Generally, when you're playing like that, you're not trying very hard. You're just playing. I mean, that, you know, talk about the zone or whatever, but I mean, really, your biggest thing is to try to not get in your way, not think too much, just play. And a lot of that falls on your caddy to just, you know, not make it too serious.
And I asked him, "You've never shot 62 before, right?" He goes, "No, I've actually done it 3 times." These guys are amazing.
62 sounds good for 9 holes
Yeah,
for you
exactly.
and me.
Yep.
Thanks, Frank. We'll be right back. Well, Simone Biles is making history in Paris, and her husband, St. Louis native Jonathan Owens, has been by her side to cheer her on.
I've seen him in the stands. The CBC grad posted a selfie on his Instagram story today, standing in front of the historical pieces of art in the Louvre Museum. The Chicago Bears safety photoshopped a gold-framed picture of his wife competing with the caption, "Walked past some history in the Louvre today." Hours later, the GOAT went on to win her 6th Olympic gold medal, her 9th overall. She now has more Olympic medals than any other American gymnast.
And there you have it. 5 on your side at 10. NBC's Olympics coverage continues next with Late Night in Paris.
Be sure to start your day with Today in St. Louis at 4 a.m. Rennie will be live from Paris. Have a great tomorrow.
So good.